Welcome to Frywall Fridays. Today we are going to Morocco to make a tagine. A tagine is the name of a dish, and it's also the name of the dish that the dish is prepared in, which is a clay pot that has beautiful structure to it, and it's used both for sauteing the meat and then for slow cooking. It's basically a type of a braised dish. Every tagine has one key flavor, and probably the most classic tagine is flavored with preserved lemon. We got a jar of them right here. If you love lemon, this is like the apotheosis of a lemon, because when it's preserved or basically fermented or pickled, all these wonderful notes of the lemon kind of emerge that you otherwise wouldn't taste. And that is coupled with one other key ingredient, olives. Other than that, all the ingredients are pretty straightforward, but what emerges is a combination of flavors that is completely transporting. Let's get started. For our chicken, we have 8 chicken legs. Chicken legs really work well for a stew like this. That should be enough for about 6 people. Some will have 1 piece, some will have 2. Then we have our olives. There is a cup and a half of olives here. They're mixed green and black. If you just have green, that works really well too. And next we have our preserved lemons. I've cut 1 here and 2 so you can see inside. It has this beautiful flesh. Before throwing them in the pot, we're going to cut all of them in 2 and remove these little seeds. They're a little bit bitter. And there's also here about half a cup of the brine that the lemons come in. That's going to add a lot of saltiness and the zing that we want. Next, we're going to move on to our vegetables. There's going to be a bunch of onions, garlic, a bell pepper, and also some cilantro, although that's just for garnish. You can also use parsley for the garnish. There's a little bit of chicken stock. If you have water, that's fine. We're just going to need that to create a stew. And then we have our spices. There's some ginger, paprika, cumin, and turmeric, which is going to give a really beautiful flavor. Now, I don't happen to have a tagine. I broke my tagine, so I'm just going to be using this casserole dish. This happens to be a nice pretty one from, I think it's Spain, but any kind of casserole dish will work. I'll start by putting some salt and pepper on both sides of the chicken. Now I'll chop up the onions, not too thinly. Next, I'll go ahead and cut up my bell pepper, also into strips, maybe a little bit thicker than the onions, and I can add those to the same bowl with the onions. And next, I will trim and peel and chop up my garlic and set the other side in a different bowl. That's it for the prep. We're ready to start cooking. I have my pan nice and hot with a couple of tablespoons of oil. I'm going to add 4 of the chicken legs skinned down. I'm going to do 4 at a time because they need to be in a single layer, otherwise they're not going to get browned right. Now, the key here is to keep your heat regulated. So you want it hot enough where the chicken sizzles and you see steam coming off, but you don't want to see any smoke coming off of the oil. That means the oil is too hot and you don't want a burnt flavor. These have been going for about 5 minutes. You can see the skin is nicely browned. These are ready to flip over, and they'll go on the other side for about 4 minutes. These are great. They can come out and we can start in on the next batch. At this point, I'm going to drain out most of the oil, just keep a couple of tablespoons of oil left in the pan. And now I'm going to add in my onions and my peppers and saute them for a couple of minutes till they get some color and just begin to soften slightly. At this point, I can add my garlic, saute that for maybe 20 seconds until you start getting a nice smell. And now I can add in my spice mix, and I'm going to cook that just for maybe 20-30 seconds again. Once that's all nicely combined, I can go ahead and pour in my stock to deglaze the pan. Once everything is nicely combined, I can go ahead and pour everything into my casserole dish. This is ready to go into the oven. The tagine has been going in the oven for about 35 minutes. At this point, we're going to take it out and add our key ingredients, the preserved lemons and the olives. And we'll work those in, spread them around, and this is going to go into the oven for another 45 minutes. This has been in the oven for a total of about 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it's ready to come out. Wow. This smells completely awesome. You can really smell the preserved lemons and the olives. Look at those colors. It's still bubbling. We're just going to top it with a little bit of cilantro. Parsley works as well. And you can serve that with either rice or couscous or some crusty bread. There it is. Tagine with preserved lemons and olives. Enjoy.